I never liked airports. Too much noise. Too many lies wrapped in smiles. That morning, I watched my wife and her sister glide through the terminal like they owned the air itself. Matching designer coats. Matching arrogance. They moved together, two halves of the same smirk. We were headed to Paris. Correction, they were. When the attendant called first class, her sister looked back at me and said, "He can't even afford economy." My wife laughed. It wasn't loud, but it cut through everything else. I didn't flinch. I've learned that silence unsettles cruel people more than any word ever could. They disappeared behind the velvet rope, heels clicking against the marble. I stayed, quietly, watching. Then the man in uniform approached. "Mr. Hale?" I turned. "Your jet's ready, sir." He said it loud enough, on purpose, and for a brief, perfect second, every head on that platform froze. The laughter had started months before the airport. Soft at first, like the sound of glass cracking under pressure. A joke about my work. A glance exchanged between her and her sister at dinner. Then whispers when I entered a room. I pretended not to notice, but the real fracture came one night after she fell asleep beside me. Her phone buzzed twice on the nightstand. Her sister's name lit up. I opened it. A single line. "He actually thinks you still love him?" And then a voice memo. My wife's voice, low, tired. "Just keep him happy until the deal clears. After that, I don't care what he thinks." No explanation, no hesitation, just truth, delivered like a knife between ribs. The next morning she kissed me on the cheek, asked if I wanted tea. Her hands didn't shake, neither did mine. I didn't confront her, not right away. Emotion clouds strategy. Instead, I began to observe. Patterns, times, habits. She met her sister every Thursday at the cafe near the law office. Always for business. I checked the cafe's security footage through a friend who owed me a favor. They weren't discussing business. They were counting. Money. My money. She had transferred shares of my company, piece by piece, through shell accounts under her sister's name. I traced every movement. Quietly, carefully. Each lie was a thread, and I pulled. At night, I lay beside her, listening to the rhythm of her breath, counting how many seconds she paused before pretending to dream. I stopped touching her. She didn't notice. She thought she was winning. But every empire built on deceit crumbles under silence. I met with my attorney, moved my holdings offshore, sold the company quietly, to myself, under a new entity. I let her believe she'd succeeded. Then I bought the jet. Not out of vanity, out of precision. I wanted her to see what real control looks like, without ever raising my voice. The day before the flight, I left a file on her dressing table. No note, no explanation. Inside, bank records, transfer statements, screenshots, and a single legal document with her signature on it. A silent confession. That evening she came into the living room, pale. "Where did you—" I looked up from my book. "You left it out." She froze. "You don't understand." "I do." I closed the book. "You and your sister needed me to stay stupid long enough for the money to clear. It did, but it's gone now. So were you." Her lips trembled. "You're lying." I smiled. Small, effortless. "I used your own lawyer. You should have checked the fine print before signing." The color drained from her face. She wanted to scream, maybe beg, but I stood and walked past her. "Get some rest," I said. "Tomorrow's flight leaves early." And now, here we were. The terminal lights glared against the polished floor. Her sister's voice echoed behind the gate. "Come on, we're boarding." My wife turned to glance back at me one last time. That same mocking calm. The one she wore when she thought she'd won. Then the uniformed man appeared beside me. "Your jet's ready, sir." I watched her head snap toward the voice. Her smile faltered, just slightly. Her sister's words died mid-laugh. I nodded to the officer. "Thank you, I'll be there shortly." He saluted, walked off. Her eyes searched mine, desperate now, confusion breaking through the mask. "Jet?" she whispered. I tilted my head, calm. "You didn't think you were the only one who could make arrangements, did you?" She took a step forward. "Ethan, please, what is this?" I met her gaze, steady. "Freedom." Then I turned and walked toward the private terminal. Behind me I heard her voice crack, a small sound, barely human, the kind you make when you realize the world doesn't orbit you anymore. The engines hummed, a low, clean sound. I sat by the window as the runway lights blurred into streaks. She called 3 times before takeoff. I let them ring out. Outside, clouds swallowed the horizon. Beautiful, cold, and unreachable. People think revenge is about hurting someone. It's not. It's about removing them from your world, so completely that even their memory loses meaning. As the jet rose higher, I felt it, the absence. Not of her, but of the noise. The silence felt like truth. And in that silence, I realized something simple. They only laugh when they believe you can't hear the ending. Now I write the endings. And this one was perfect.